Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's another part of my Christmas series. These are so stinking cute. You guys gotta see these DIYs I put together for you. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and if you do, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. So let's start with the first project. First up, we're gonna take these little snowflakes from Dollar Tree. I also purchased this little stocking, the wood stocking from Hobby Lobby last year. I used it before. Little tag I made out of some cardboard. We're gonna use 3 separate types of craft paper. These are from Hobby Lobby. And some scrap fabric that I had in my stash. First thing I want to do is trace out the stocking on the craft paper. Once I have it traced out, I'm just going to cut it out and place it right on top of the stocking. I'm going to place down some Mod Podge and place the craft paper right over the top. Now this craft paper that I purchased from Hobby Lobby came in a book, so they don't like sell separate pages, but you can use any type of craft paper, or you can just paint these. I think they still sell them. I don't know. I bought this last year. So now I'm going to take the other craft paper, and that's going to be for the toe on the stocking. Just going to place it right in front and just make a little crease so I know where to cut the little toe out. Then I'm going to Mod Podge it down. Now I have it cut out, just going to place it down with some Mod Podge. This comes out really pretty. This is kind of like a vintage look to it, and I seen it on Pinterest and I thought it was so adorable, so I decided to make it. So now I'm going to take the other craft paper that's going to go on the back of the heel, and I'm going to do the same thing, just create a little crease and cut it out. Now I have it cut out and just going to Mod Podge it down in the back of the heel. Now I'm going to be using 3 of the snowflakes. I'm just going to go ahead and paint them with the red paint. I did add a little black to it just to darken it up a little bit. Now I'm going to take this fabric that I had. It was like from a sweater or something. Just going to cut a little piece and place it at the top. So I'm just going to hot glue it down and then cut the ends because it is a little bit too big, and glue the ends down as well. If you can't find the stocking at Hobby Lobby, all you can do is trace out a stocking shape on a piece of cardboard and do the same thing. Just place some craft paper over the top and it works just the same. Now I created a little tag out of a piece of cardboard and placed a little hole at the top. Just going to spell out the word ho 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 with my pencil, and then I'm going to use a black marker to go over the pencil lines. Now I'm going to take those snowflakes that I painted and just hot glue them down on the stocking. Now I want to decorate the top of the stocking. I'm just going to take a few greenery from Hobby Lobby and some from Walmart and just glue it to the top. I also made a messy bow. I added a little more white to it at the end because it was just too red. I'm just going to hot glue it to the top. Add a little bell in the middle. I added some jute through that little tag, and then I placed it right underneath that bow. And that's pretty much it for this little stocking. I think it's adorable. It's really cute. For the next project, I printed this out and just found it online. I used my Cricut and made a stencil. I seen this at Hobby Lobby, wanted to try my hands on this, and I'm going to use the large skewer sticks from Dollar Tree. Now I went ahead and cut them down. Just going to go ahead and paint them all brown. Now, like I said, I created a little stencil on my Cricut machine. I was a little nervous because I didn't know if the vinyl was going to pull off the paper because it is just regular printing paper. So now I'm just going to place down the baby Jesus in the middle, and then I'm going to place down the other part at the top. I'm not going to fully cover this with the brown paint. I'm going to lightly cover because I want it to look like the one from Hobby Lobby. Now I have some light beige and some dark brown in the little container. I'm going to go ahead and use my little stencil brush. Just brush on some of the brown, the light brown, and then the dark brown over the top. So you can see that I'm just basically placing the paint around the outside. I'm not going to do the inside, because like I said, I want it to look like the one from Hobby Lobby. I'm just adding a little bit of the dark brown right on top of the light brown. And then I'm going to remove the stencil and show you what it looks like. Now I'm going to take those skewer sticks and just glue them together. Then once they're all glued together, I'm going to place them right at the bottom of that little sign. This was such an easy project. Didn't take much time to create this. And basically I used everything from Dollar Tree except for the printout. Now the printout was free, and the one from Hobby Lobby was obviously bigger, but this was only, I think it cost me less than $1 to make. And I think it's really adorable, and I love the way it turned out. Now I'm going to do the other side as well. Glue down the little wood pieces at the top. So I want to be able to hang it as well. I'm just going to take a little piece of jute wire from Hobby Lobby and glue it to the back. That's pretty much it for this project, and I think it's so stinking cute. Next up, we're going to use a sign from Dollar Tree. I used it before. I'm just going to use the back and these large paint sticks from Home Depot. And I also use my Cricut. So I'm going to start off by painting the back of the sign with this green paint. I'm just going to give it one quick coat of paint. So now I'm going to paint one of the paint sticks with this crimson red. And I went ahead and cut them down. And I'm just going to paint one with the red. One's going to be white. Now I use my Cricut. I'm just going to place down the word. It says Mary, and it's in white vinyl. That's going to go on the red paint stick. And then the word Christmas is in red, and that's going to go on the white paint stick. I also created some white Christmas trees, a snowman, and a snowflake. That's going to go on the red paint stick. Going to place down that word Christmas. Now the Christmas word is a little bit too big for the paint stick, but that's fine. I went ahead and just cut the top part out. I also created some snowflakes on my Cricut machine. I'm just going to place a bunch down on the sign. I take those paint sticks and just hot glue them down on that sign, starting with the word Merry and then Christmas. Now I'm going to take the back of a paintbrush, dip it in some white paint, add a few little snowflakes, and that's pretty much it for this project. I think it came out so cute. For this next project, I'm going to be using this wood piece from Temu, and this is from Dollar Tree. I also used my Cricut. To create the letters, I just used my Cricut and placed a little craft paper inside to spell out the word ho ho ho. I was going to use that hat, but I decided to use a different one. So now I'm just going to place that right inside that frame. I'm not going to paint it or anything. So once I have it sized, I'm going to go ahead and place it in there. Now this wallpaper is sticky, so I'm just going to remove the paper and back. and just place it inside. Now I created this on my Cricut. I just used basic craft paper from Hobby Lobby. And to place it down, I'm just going to use the glue stick. I'm going to spell out ho, ho, ho. So now I'm just going to place down everything before I start gluing the rest of them. And that little wreath in the middle, I'm not sure where I got that from. Now I'm just going to go ahead and glue everything down on that board. Then once everything's on the board, I'm going to go ahead and glue down that wreath with my glue gun. Now I also used my Cricut and created the saying Santa stop here. This is a really cute little sign. When I was looking at the craft paper, I was like, maybe I should have used something else, but I did like the colors. It's just that because the sign's tiny, that the words are kind of bunched together. Now I'm going to take that wreath and just hot glue it down. Now that little hat, I wanted to use for the sign. It's actually my cat's hat for Christmas. I like the colors and everything, but when I was trying to place it on the corner, it was just too big. So I ended up using a little tiny red one. All I did was glue it to the corner of the sign, and that is it for this project. All right, for this one, we're going to use some ticking fabric that I got online, and this tile from Dollar Tree, and the frame is from Dollar Tree as well. So because the tile is not big enough to fit the frame, I'm just going to paint the outside with some antique parchment. I'm going to do the same thing to the tile. I'm going to paint it with the antique parchment. I'm just going to put everything back together. Now I'm going to take that tile and place it right in the middle of the frame, and that's the reason why I painted it on the outside, because like I said, it wasn't big enough. Now I need to make 6 little circles out of this material, so I'm just going to cut a strip, and then I'm going to twist it and glue it and place a little glue, and then twist it again, and then wrap it around and place a little glue. You can see what I'm doing here. It's just something I just thought of. And I mean, if you have other ways to make these little things, go ahead and do it. But I thought the little twisting made it look really cute. So I made 6 total, and I did 5 off camera. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue them all down on the tile. Now I'm just taking a little brown paint with a sponge and just adding it on the sign, just to make it look kind of worn and vintage. Now I'm going to make a little bow out of the same material and just make a little simple bow, and then take a piece of that material to wrap it in the middle. Now I want to add a little greenery to the top. Just going to take a few little picks and place it at the top, and then I'm going to place the bow right in the middle. Now I'm going to add the bow right in the middle, and I did realize that it was a little off balance. I added another little stem in the corner, and that is it for this project, and look how cute it came out. This is the last one. We're going to take a Dollar Tree frame, one of these gift bags from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use some foam board. We're going to make a Christmas TV like the ones from Hobby Lobby. This one comes out so awesome. So I went ahead and cut down the foam boards. This is going to be placed inside the frame. Now I'm going to start painting them. The front of the foam boards are going to be red, and then the back is going to be black. Now I went ahead and cut down that gift bag, and now I'm going to place the front of the frame right over it. I'm going to trace it and cut it out. Unfortunately, I had it the wrong way. It's supposed to be sideways. That's fine. Good thing I had the other side of the gift bag, so off camera, I just fixed it. Now I'm going to take the foam boards and place them inside the frame. Now, the red part is going to be facing inward, and then the black is facing outward. So I'm going to place them in there first, and then I'm going to start gluing them. Now I'm going to start gluing them down. Place the bottom piece first, and then once I place down the other sides, I'm going to glue them together. You'll see exactly what I'm doing. I have an X-Acto knife, I have a box cutter, I have 3 different types of knives, and no matter which one I used, I could not get a clean cut on the foam board, but it still worked. So I'm just gluing the top pieces together as well as the bottom. So adding more glue in the corners. Some pieces just didn't want to stay. That's foam board for you. Now I went ahead and cut that gift bag out and a piece of foam board to match the gift bag size. Now I'm just going to place some glue on the foam board and place the gift bag right over the top. Now I'm going to flip it and place it right in the back of the little box that I created and glue that down as well. I love the way this one comes out. I'm so amazed at the way it turned out at the end. I'm really surprised and I'm really proud of myself. It really came out awesome. You really have to stick around to the end, guys. I want to add some fairy lights, so I'm just going to use a Cricut tool and place a few little holes and then place the fairy lights inside and then glue them down. I'm only going to add a few because I didn't want it really, really too bright inside. So that's what I'm going to do. Place a little hole, place the fairy lights inside, and I think I did 3 or 4 because, like I said, I didn't want to use a lot of lights. Once I place them in the hole, I'm going to add some glue to top it off. Now I'm just going to glue the battery pack in back. I wanted to create little feet for the TV stand, and all I did was paint these little snowmen from Dollar Tree. Painted them red. Just going to glue them underneath. Kind of gives it that vintage vibe. So I want to add some snow inside and hide some of the imperfections in the corners. So I'm just using some Mod Podge, placing it in the corners, a little bit inside, down at the bottom as well. Then I'm going to place some fake snow all in the areas where I placed the Mod Podge. So I place it inside and just kind of like swishing it around to make sure it gets in all the areas inside. And it makes it look really festive as well. This thing is so adorable, guys. I really love this one. Now I want to add some trees inside. I'm grabbing 2 of the Dollar Tree Christmas trees. Just going to hot glue them down inside. So I decided to use this Dollar Tree snowman, and I'm going to place it inside as well. Now, I don't know what happened to this other arm, but he has one arm, so we're going to go with it. Now I'm going to be using some floral wire, and these are from Hobby Lobby, but Dollar Tree carries them as well, whether they like floral fillers or something like that, or I don't know what they're called. But I'm going to use them as balloons, and I'm going to place them through the floral wire and then tie it into a circle and then twist it off at the end, and then I'm going to add a few more to make it look like balloons. Once I have it all done, placed through the floral wire, I'm just going to tie it off in the bottom and twist the wire and then cut it. And then I added a few more of those little fillers right on top to make it look like a big thing of balloons. Now I want to hide the floral wire, so I'm going to grab some baker's twine, the red and white baker's twine. All I'm going to do is wrap it around the floral wire and glue it down. Now it's all covered with the baker's twine. Now I'm going to place it inside the TV, and I'm going to place it where it looks like the snowman is actually holding the string of balloons. So now I'm going to add a few more of the little fillers at the bottom of the TV. And I thought it looked like a bunch of balloons all over the floor. I thought it would look really cute that way, so just added a few more inside. Now I want it to look like it has like little turn dials for the TV, and these are like little scrap pieces of wood I had in my stash, and I thought they would look really cute as little knobs, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue them down. One's a little larger. So I wanted to add a bow at the top, so I just created one, and I'm just going to glue it to the top. And then I added a little bit of the greenery all around the bow, and that's pretty much it for this little TV, and I think it's so adorable. So I just pull a couple picks apart. I'm just going to glue them underneath the bow, a little bit in back, a little bit in front, and that is it. And this is how it turned out. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Take care, everyone. I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.